Here we go. Good morning. How are we feeling? Hell yeah. All right. Okay. Oh, sorry. Today we've got Dewey Double Pills. This is the third of our beers that went on over the weekend. There's probably going to be another one, maybe even tomorrow, but that's tomorrow's issue. Today we got Dewey Double Pills. Okay, this one's pretty straightforward. It's really clear, really clean Pilsner. Dewey Double Pills. What's a double pills, you may ask yourself? Well, it's not really a style. It's something that we invented, but the idea behind it is it's a Pilsner with a little bit higher ABV, and then the flavors that kind of make a traditional Pilsner, which are continental grain, really like beer flavored beer. This is just a more beer flavored beer, you know? So whereas the last 2 days with the Zaatar and the Kotbusser, it's been like, here are these complex flavors and it's layered and it's nuanced and there's a lot of culinary thought put into it and the balance. Not so here. This is just a good old beer flavored beer that's got a little extra oomph. I think that's all I even put in the description. It's like super straightforward. That being said, even within something like that, there's always some nuance there. So let's just give it a whiff, see what we get on aroma and taste. Just shout it out. Let me know what your impressions are. You might already even know this one, it having been on tap for a few days. Okay, anybody? Anything that it's reminiscent of? I'm just gonna hold the awkward silence until somebody says something. Like a Budweiser? Okay, no doubt.
Like a classic beer flavored beer, but a little bit more than a Budweiser.
Okay,
You know, like maybe a step up from that.
okay.
Body,
A little more body.
yeah, a
Yeah.
little more in the aftertaste.
At the end.
Yeah,
At the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we experience? That's great.
Which is
First of all.
salad. It's like your average, like
Yeah.
Budweiser. But
Yeah, I agree. On the nose, it's like really classic. It's more designed as like a German Pilsner than an American Pilsner, but the difference between those two is very, very slight. An American Pilsner is just going to have some like corn or rice in it, you know, but this is 100% barley. So, but yeah, the difference there is like it's like a razor's kind of edge. Okay. Anything else?
So it's considered an imperial? Like in the description it says imperial because of the higher ABV?
Okay, so the question is it considered an imperial? That's what it is on the menu, right? Or on the screen or whatever. Okay, here's a note, and I'm glad that you brought that up. So here's a note in general about all of those kinds of things. We are limited by what Untapped gives us as far as what we can list beers as. So I don't love that. It puts me in a box a lot of the time as far as like what we put on that screen, what we put in the menu. Because oftentimes the last 3 beers that have come out being great examples of each, what we make doesn't really fit into their categories that are in their silly like drop down menus. This is a great example of that. This is not an Imperial Pilsner. 6% is not quite high enough ABV to be an Imperial Pilsner. I think that we'd be expecting to see something around like 7.5 to 8% at least if we're gonna call it an Imperial Pilsner. Which is back to like my original thing, like why is it a double pills? Well, I mean, is it a double pills? We made that up. I don't know. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. So that's kind of like that discrepancy there. Yeah. Good question. Okay, a little bit of notes on like what I'm getting. I like a beer flavored beer because there's nothing to hide behind. It's all stripped back. You know, if you make mistakes as a brewer, like they're gonna be right there. And people might not necessarily know exactly what those mistakes were, like you mashed in 2 degrees too high or like whatever, but they're gonna notice it, you know? So there's nothing to hide behind. When there's nothing to hide behind, we can kind of get into more nuance on like what aromas and tastes that we're getting out of it. So I think that this is a little bit of a sweeter Pilsner. It doesn't finish quite as dry, which means that it's gonna be perceived as a little bit heavier body. That's really nice for somebody who's like not looking for that Bud Light necessarily, and wants like I guess that's kind of like more the oomph in in the actual beer. I'm getting a little bit of hay off of this. I'm getting some like sweeter cereal grains, which are a little more in the lines of like almost bready, as opposed to like something that's more roasty, when it comes to the grain aroma and flavor. The hop character on this and the bitterness is really at a minimum. That's by design. That's all pulled back to make this just like a really drinkable beer. How have people been receiving it? It's been on for a few days. Yeah?
I
Sick.
sold a lot the other day. People were obsessed with it.
Dope. I'll take obsessed. That's fantastic. I changed out a keg this morning. I noticed that people are hammering it, which is awesome. Yeah. Okay. Beer flavored beer with a little extra oomph. Anything else?
But a lot of people come in that aren't big, like, beer drinkers looking for something like this, so this is an easy sell.
Sick.
Not women,
I love that.
love a beer that's not,
We love an easy sell. Just tee it up and rip it. That's fantastic. We're going to have a lot more of this kind of beer coming out. This was designed originally to be a lager brewery. We figured a lot of things out in the back to be able to move lagers through. So got some exciting ones coming down. We got a new updated version of the River Trail Pilsner. I've got an American Pilsner version coming out called River Light. There's some like exciting stuff coming down the line lager wise, and hopefully we'll never find ourselves without lagers again, but no promises. Okay, have a great shift. Thank you guys.
Thank you.